magic of the Sunstone. You're tuned into the Jewel Riders Archive.
Come along, come and sing our song. Gather round, together we'll grow strong.
Hey Jewel fans, I'm Chris.
And I'm Ronnie from the Jewel Riders Archive.
Welcome back to part 2 of the Jewel Riders Archives episode review podcast. We went way longer than we thought on the last one, so we decided to break it into 3 for the season 1.
You can look forward to us reviewing 4 more of the first season episodes this podcast episode, and then we'll complete the first season in the next podcast episode.
Right. We're almost halfway through.
Yay! It's only been 30 years. I mean,
exactly.
Well, and after 10 years of the Jewel Riders Archive, what more could we possibly say about this?
I'm sure there's a spoiler alert, or who knows.
Yes. So for those of you who, although you really should have already listened to the other episode, so I'm not even going to invite those of you who have not listened to the other episode. So I'm just going to tell you, as you remember, we were giving you the information about the episode, like who it was written by, when it originally aired. Then we're doing a little synopsis, and then we're also doing a review where we give each episode a jewel on a scale of 1 to 5. There's been no zeros yet. So
I don't think there will be, but you never know, I guess.
Right. Look out, season 2.
Oh, that's true.
Uh-huh. So I guess we'll just start in. I guess we should also say where we had left off was Jewel Quest Part 1, Jewel Quest Part 2, Travel Trees Can't Dance, Wizard's Peak, and Song of the Rainbow is the episodes that we've already reviewed.
A really solid batch.
Yeah.
This batch, a little less solid, perhaps, but we'll get into that.
You start off real strong, you have a little bit of a lull, and then you're going to hopefully end on a high note.
Yes. All right, so let's start with our next episode, For Whom the Bell Trolls, written by Marion Mayer and Robin Young. The original air date was October 15 of 1995.
Deep inside the misty moors, Drake, Josh, and Max are turned into frogs by a troll who has discovered the wild magic of the Misty Rose Crown Jewel. The Jewel Riders must reach the boys before the mischievous little troll can turn them into frog stew. Tamara cooks up a plan to get everyone out of hot water and find the stone. I love that recap.
That is a ridiculous recap. It's actually better than the episode.
We're reading the recaps from the original Amazing Adventures website.
I think you just love it because it says Tamara cooks up a plan.
Yeah. I do. I really do. I think it was well written for what it was.
Oh, yes.
Considering the source material.
Right.
So we've been doing some synopsis of the episodes. Since this is kind of a pack episode, would you like to take this one?
Sure, I'll start us off here. So the episode actually opens with the pack riding through the Misty Moors. And let me just say that of the lands of Avalon, like, the Misty Moors are super cool looking. They're very atmospheric, full of kind of like, what's the danger lurking in the mist. And unfortunately, we find out that the danger is Murray, a troll who has found the Misty Rose Crown Jewel. And when the pack tries to, take the jewel from him, he turns them into frogs. And then when the wolves try to rescue them, he turns them into lizards. The only one to escape is Stormrunner, Josh's wolf. And when the cage gets knocked off that hold the frogs and the lizards, Josh, as a frog, gets onto Stormrunner and somehow, I guess, rides the wild magic back to New Camelot. And I should also say there's a mystery sort of surrounding this episode of what's happened to the Castle River Mist and its Lord Delphonse. So they mention, he's missing, the whole castle's missing, they come across the troll in what they think is the groundkeeper's cottage.
Can I just interject here? It's funny because when they said the troll, and also it's a play on the words of for whom the bell tolls.
Of course,
It's for
the
whom the bell
Hemingway book,
trolls.
yes.
It's just for anyone who didn't get that. But is he really a troll? Because it's like, it's almost like it's not your typical iconography. Like, it's not Shrek. You know, it's not an ogre type of an
No.
character. Like, I thought trolls were supposed to be like hideous and scary, and I don't know. That's always how they're portrayed. It
I
feels.
mean, yeah, there's the trolls, I believe, from The Hobbit, that are, it's like, I don't know, 10 feet tall or something like that.
Right, and then there was the troll in Harry Potter as well.
Right. So, I
So
mean,
it's like-
I'm not really sure the difference trolls versus ogres.
Maybe this is something that if anyone has any like feedback on, but I'm just like, I don't know. It's just when you see him though, he just kind of looks. He's just more like a nerdy, geeky teenager.
He's a dapper little man in his suit
In his
and
little
cape.
suit, and he plays magic, and he likes magic. It's like I know a few D&D guys that would probably kind of match that description. So
All he needs is a fedora.
right. I mean, I know some dapper ones too. So I mean, it just to me, his the whole character about being the troll, it never really resonated with me. I mean, weren't also the trolls the ones from the elf land in season 2?
Yes.
Those are also trolls.
Those are also trolls. So,
So see, that's what I mean. It's like
inconsistency in the world, clearly, here.
exactly of what a troll is.
Yeah, I mean, spoiler alert, he's not really a troll. He's just a human who's been
Right.
mildly
But it doesn't matter.
transformed. Yeah.
It's like if Prince Adam was transformed into a beast, he still looked like a beast. He didn't look like, I don't know, like a handsome man with a little bit of hair on his face.
a little bit longer nose.
Right,
yes.
exactly. Yes. Anyway, I digress. Continue
Yes.
on our little recap here.
All right, so Josh returns to New Camelot. The babies, of course, find him and harass him before Tamara saves him. And then in one of a ridiculous but favorite scene of this episode, she brings Josh as a frog into Sunstar's room, which I believe this is the first time we
Yes.
see that the unicorns have rooms in the Crystal Palace. And Archie's reading a book, apparently, all about the crown jewel. Not the crown jewels, I'm sorry, the enchanted
The
jewels.
enchanted jewels.
Which
because
I'm
it
like,
has the
oh, if you
jewels
had
on the
that like
cover.
encyclopedia of it the whole time, like, can that just
Right.
help them? Should they all read it? But,
Yes.
so then Tamara brings in the frog, and in this ridiculous exchange, she's like, look at this frog, it's Joshua. And Gwen's like, I don't care what you call it, it's Icky.
Yes.
And then she's like, no, Tamara's like, no, it is Joshua. And then we think that Gwen is crying, but then it turns out she's like heaving with laughter. Yes, another Gwen laugh in this episode. Because she's like, can you just picture Drake as a frog? And then they make some ridiculous frog puns about hopping to it. And
The boys need our help. Right. We better hop to it. Great. What a rescue this is going to be.
yes, and boy, does the episode just keep
Go
going
from there.
From there.
Uh-huh. So now we have the girls en route to save the pack, and now Fallon has also joined. And when they come to this river, Tamara calls upon this giant hippo. The hippo helps guide them across and ferries
Yes.
them across
They
the river.
ride this hippo that is like the size of an aircraft carrier.
Yes. And they also
And I'm like,
come upon
could that fit in that river?
it's like the Loch Ness hippo. And so then you also have Lord Delphonse, who says that he's been transformed
Yes, he
into a
shows up
swan.
as a swan.
And so they follow him to presumably this evil troll. And it is here also that Tamara goes in and she tries to befriend Murray. And Fallon tries to sneak up behind them and grab the jewel. And then when he's alerted, he gets very upset and he says that he thought that they were supposed to be a friend to him. And here they are trying to steal the jewel. But then Lord Delphonse starts to run away. And as
We
he's
should
running
say
away,
Lord
what?
Delphonse grabs while
Oh,
they're
yes, yes.
So Murray tries to make them
They're
do-
distracted.
Yeah, he tries to, make them perform feats for him, basically. Like, he makes Fallon, walk on air, but it's a tightrope.
Walk on air? I get it.
Yeah.
That's another quote that we say a lot.
Yeah, so we
too.
say that, I get it, a lot. to
Yes.
each other.
Again, a lot of Fallon quotes we will recite to
I
each
think
other.
they're just delivered so perfectly.
And then there's the Tamara one where he's like, can you make some notes that make me laugh or play some notes?
And then some bargain basement Beauty and the Beast instruments show up.
Yes. Oh, it's horrible. See, it was just, I tried to take it away from my memory. I just skipped right over that part. But yes, you're right. There is that part. So in all this distraction and while Fallon is tightrope walking and Tamara is creating magical notes that actually tickle his feet.
Through shoes,
And yes.
I might add.
Through little slippers, yes. So then Lord Delphonse the Swan comes up and he steals the jewel from the window. It's like, why the hell did you have it hanging there?
Right, it's like a pie hanging out on the window.
And then he runs away. And as he runs away, there's this
Yes, very Scooby-Doo ghost sound.
this like giant little mist monster is following him and just like woo! And then who goes there? Yeah, I'm stuck. And it's like 1 minute he's stuck in like the smallest little puddle, and the next minute he's sinking in this giant like
Bog.
mud marsh. Yes, a bog. And it's like, how did it turn from a little puddle into this giant little lake? But either way,
maybe it's the mist monster.
it just, I don't know what it's doing. But
Yeah, but
the
he
Jewel Riders
also
come after
mentions
him.
During this, when he's running away, he's like, oh, Princess Kale will be interested in this. So this is really the first episode where we get a non-Kale villain.
Is it?
Yeah.
Guess it is. I mean, yeah, okay. I didn't realize it. Congratulations.
Here's one thing. Just take it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you're right. This is the first time that there is a non-Kale villain. Fun.
Yeah,
I didn't put that together. That she wasn't in this episode.
She's one of the few episodes she's not in at all in the show.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. Yeah. So then the Jewel Riders, aside from Tamara, because she stays behind with Archie,
She's
with
the
Murray.
hostage, yes.
Yes.
And Archie stays there as a chaperone for her purity.
Yes. And then they basically defeat the monster just by blowing it up. And then they escort Le Drefons back to the little hobbit's cottage. And then by placing the key against the crown jewel, they return to the jewel box. And in this one, we do see that there was already a Northwoods burning ice and a rainbow crown jewel in the box. So this is why we as fans have also placed this as the fourth of the crown jewel episodes, because you can tell when they put it in the box. So I guess I gotta give it a jewel rating.
Well, I mean, we haven't quite finished. Hold on.
Fine then.
So once it goes into the box, it's revealed that, the troll Murray this whole time was Lord Delphonse's, brother? He just wanted friends, and Lord Delphonse is a big jerk.
Who would want him for a friend?
Yes, he's very Jafar. Let me just say, Lord Delphonse is like a Renaissance Jafar lookalike.
The way that he's animated,
these are
doesn't
some of
fit
the ugliest
into the
designs
show.
in the show. Both Murray in both forms and Lord Delphonse are just these hideous designs.
I mean, even after he no longer is like a troll, it's like you don't really look any better.
Yeah, only his head changes. Literally
Yeah.
nothing else.
Yeah. See, again, I just
Yeah,
put it
and
behind me.
then
I
and
try not
then
to focus on it.
Murray starts doing magic shows at craft fairs, and Lord Delphonse is his assistant because that's what the nobility will do.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Gwen says things are not always what they seem, and then she squirts Drake with like a Joker water flower on her lapel, and the episode
Mm-hmm.
ends with them laughing.
Again, another laughing
Uh-huh.
iris
And,
out.
Fallon and Josh are sitting next to each other, which is probably one of the few times they are ever even animated in the same frame.
Now do I
So
get to rate it?
you get to rate it. Tell me.
Hmm.
You're so just.
I mean, it's because I'm stuck between two. I'm trying to debate. Do you know what you would give it?
I think I'd give it a 2.
Okay, I was gonna give it a 2 as well, but then I was thinking, do I give it a 3? Because now that I think about it, it's like it does give me those some of my favorite quotes. Walk on air.
Yes.
So maybe for the writing, I'll give it a 3. But then the
Okay.
writing's yeah, I'm gonna give it a
See,
3.
for me, the 2 is only because I love the Misty Moors and the sort of mystery aspect of it.
Yeah.
But the whole Murray plot is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of ridiculous, although this next episode seems to really have a soft spot with the new comic team. They really
Yes.
love this particular episode.
This episode gets a lot of love in the reboot comic.
Right. And this was paired with For Whom the Bell Trolls in the 1995 and 96 VHS releases.
Right. So we, of course, are talking about The Faery Princess, written by Linda Shane and Robin Young. The original air date was October 22, 1995.
Fairy Wisp, the tiny princess of the garden world of Fairyland, has lost her way home and asks the Jewel Riders for help. Feeling wild magic in the air, they lead her back to her kingdom and the Desert Star Crown Jewel. But Lady Kale is waiting. It will take all the magic of the Jewel Riders to return goodness to Fairyland. I find it interesting that throughout this episode, at least in all the written stuff, fairy is Faery, not Fairy.
Right.
And yet, Gwenevere is not Gwenevere, it's Gwenevere.
Right. We went Old English just for this randomest of episodes.
Right. The next one's not Ye Old Badlands.
Right.
But it's Faery for now for fairies.
Yes.
So this one opens up very Wizard of Oz inspired.
Oh, there's so much Wizard of Oz in this episode.
Mm-hmm. You've got Fairy Wisp reclining on the grass. Oh, why doesn't anything exciting ever happen around here? And then her dad in these ridiculous thigh-high socks comes flittering around by her and asks her if she has seen the prized magic sheep. I mean, that already is kind of an indicator of what the rest of the show is like.
Right?
So we're wondering, where's the prized magic sheep? And then
he flies over them counting them. Larry,
Yes.
Harry, Fluffy, Stuffy, Muffy. And his
Yes.
name is King. We should say his name is King Odeon, which is clearly a reference
yes.
to King Oberon of the fairies from Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream.
Fairy Wisp, though, isn't a real
No
reference to anything,
I
though.
don't believe
Unfortunately,
so.
not. Yield Wisp.
Yes, Will of the Wisp.
Will the
maybe?
Wisp. There you
Which
go.
would have been
maybe.
misplaced in From Whom the
Yeah.
Bell Trolls.
Right. So then, as he flies away, you've got the next character who enters the scene. And it's funny because this character was apparently big enough that she had a toy produced. It's Wendy the Dragon, who came with the deluxe Jewel Adventure Fallon. So Wendy flies in and she informs Wisp that the missing sheep were seen over yonder and that there is a
The Rainbow Bridge.
No, they don't know that yet, do they? I don't remember. Anyway,
I don't remember, yeah.
but they they fly over to where it is, and then you're right. I think that the rainbow either appeared as they were flying towards it or was already there. But Wisp says, "I've never seen a rainbow before," and it's kind of like it was funny because my guy was all like, "What do you mean you've never seen a rainbow before? Like it seems like fairyland should be full of rainbows." But
Right.
okay. So they fly towards this rainbow, and then they see a jewel, and they say, "Where did that come from?" And then Wendy says, "Well, maybe it fell down the rainbow." And just as they're watching it, the sheep come around the corner here, swallow it, and turn into biker sheep.
Biker
You heard
sheep.
me. Biker sheep. Yes. Side story. When my uncle, okay, I was like 10. When my uncle rented me these VHS from, it might have been Blockbuster or Hollywood Video, I remember telling him that, "Oh yeah, you might like this episode. There's biker sheep." To me, that just meant, oh, an adult might really like this. Like this,
Yeah,
this is what
adults
you
like-
go for.
Adults like motorcycles. They'll clearly like this sheep with wheels.
Exactly. That's totally what I told him. So, yeah, like now looking back, I'm like, well, someone really liked it because let me tell you, the people over there at the comic, they love this biker sheep. So
I mean,
Fluffy,
it
Stuffy,
is
and Muffy,
one of the most over-the-top things in the entire show.
one, yes, not
Yes.
the, but one, yes. So then you have these biker sheep that ascend up the rainbow through the portal. Fairy Wisp says that I'm going to follow them because they're my father's prize magic sheep. And she flies through the portal, not knowing where it goes.
Oh, and by the way, of course, as she flies away,
The rainbow
Wendy asks her
bridge.
where she's going to
Oh,
go.
yes.
And she says, "Somewhere over the rainbow." And I'm
Again,
like, you're going to get sued by
Dorothy Gale.
MGM.
Yes, Dorothy Gale Wisp over there.
Yes.
And then in the next scene, we see that she's wandering the desert. She doesn't know where she is. She happens upon a travel tree ring, which is the palm trees because they're in the desert. And
Which, by the way, I love that that's like just a little
how it changes.
feature. Yeah, that it's a
Yeah.
different tree in a different locale. Yeah.
Right. So then she basically calls upon them unknowingly because she has magic, and then they react to her magic. And she says that she only wants to go home to the castle, and they say, "We will take you to the palace." And she says, "Thank you, thank you." But what she doesn't realize is that by the palace they mean the Crystal Palace, not Fairyland.
Right.
So that is where she meets up with the Jewel Riders and Queen Anya. And Anya in her study, she takes out all this stuff and she says, "There's no records of Fairyland on any of our maps," and we'll find out why later. So then Wisp is very concerned. "Do you mean I'm never going to find my home? I mean, find my way home again?" Again, very Dorothy. And Anya assures her, "No, it just means that it's hidden from us." So, I mean, apparently that means, that no, we're going to find it. Don't worry. It'll happen all in the next 22 minutes. So,
Right.
so then they venture out into the desert. And this is actually where an animation flub happened because they animated Tamara talking, but it says, "By the magic of the Moonstone." And then they animated Fallon talking, "By the magic of the Heartstone." So in actually one of those scenes, I did make that edit where I just reversed the video so that the audio matches. That's all I did. But anyway, just FYI. Then we have Kale. So Kale is back in this episode. She is circling and following the drawers, and then she sees the disturbance, and she happens upon the biker sheep. And it's when one of the sheep gets sick that Rufus and Twig, dressed as a nurse and a doctor, tend to the poor sheep.
Oh, yes. And they change outfits because the sheep who has swallowed the
Burps.
jewel burps magic onto them.
Apparently, it's the wild magic dragstone. I don't know.
Yes. Oh, quick aside. This episode also is the only episode where Tamara, I believe, is shown having a music lesson.
Oh,
And her-
yeah, with
and
Dr.
and with
Hill?
Professor Hill.
Professor Hill.
And that's a character that I took in my Tamara novel and actually made a real character out of
Gotcha.
him. But I have to say, I see your Music Man reference there, Professor Harold Hill.
Mm-hmm. There you
But
go.
anyway, just a random aside.
Musical Chris Canther had to make sure that we knew that about the Music Man.
Exactly.
So going back to where we were with drag dweezels. So now we've got Nurse Twig over here attending to Dr. Rufus.
Dr.
And
Rufus, you killed the patient.
Nurse Twig, don't be ridiculous. How do you feel, sheep? Bad.
Bad.
Ugh, so bad. And I can't tell, is he talking about the humor or is that how he feels? Because I took it as both.
All of the above.
Right. I think that honestly, just by all of that, I'm getting it more jewels than maybe it deserves.
Right.
So from there, the Jewel Riders enter Fairyland. They encounter Kale, but the thing is that the magic works differently in Fairyland, and apparently Kale, who's already come to the land and has already harassed Odeon, is more aware of how it works. And so when they're fighting, one of the most ridiculous things that happens is very good, a shark stone. A shark stone, the dark stone.
Yes, and so the magic in Fairyland works in ridiculous ways. Their beams are never just beams. You know, beams become flowers, beams become sharks. Mats
And
of
bees.
flowers rise up to catch you.
Yes, it's quite
Bees,
ridiculous.
yeah.
And then Wisp flies over the water, and then she produces little fish that blow bubbles to catch
That's what it is.
her
That's
friends
the
as
thing that catches
well.
them. Yes.
Yes.
Because we should say when the Jewel Riders arrive in Fairyland, the portal literally spits them out in the middle of the sky. Which I'm
Well,
like,
and Archie
seems like a
even says
design
that.
flaw. Yeah.
Well, he says that he's like, just one thing, we fall out in the middle of the sky. Woo! Oh wait,
Forgetting
I
he
can
has
fly.
wings. Yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah, exactly. And it is after all these shenanigans that Kale is, I don't want to say defeated, but she's stopped because Wisp laughs and it makes Grim laugh and tickle uncontrollably, which is something that they put on the card set. On Wisp's card, it says that Wisp creates magical fairy dust that will make anyone laugh. And it's like, it only happened the one time, but I guess
Well,
okay,
they didn't
that's
have
an
a lot to
attribute.
work with, you know.
Yes, there wasn't much for that character.
What are you going to say? She wants to go home all the time? Or-
Right? Dorothy Gale over there just dreams and
Yes.
sings over the rainbow. Yes. And then after she flies away, that is when the Jewel Riders are... Okay, well, first they put the jewel back in the jewel box.
Well, you've skipped a bit, though.
Did I? Because...
You did,
Is it
because-
worth mentioning?
It is.
Okay, go ahead and mention it.
While Gwen and Fallon are fighting Kale, Tamara heads back into
Oh, the turtle.
the desert, yes.
Okay.
Where
Chris
she-
just really needs
she
to tell you
rides
about this turtle.
A turtle who is it's like, I'm doing the best I can. Very Eeyore-like.
Oh, of course you are.
And then she uses magic to make the turtle basically a biker sheep.
I did laugh though when the turtle stood up on two legs and sped away.
Yes,
that was quite
like hi-ho
funny.
silver.
Exactly, yes.
So Tamara finds Rufus Twig and the sheep. She performs what is later Archie describes as the sheep lick maneuver.
A play on the Heimlich maneuver.
She gets the Desert Star crown jewel out of the sheep, and then she rides the biker sheep back to Fairyland in one of the most ridiculous images from the show.
Again, though, it's gonna get more jewels from me, more than it deserves, probably. All right, so then
Kale is defeated.
Yes, and then Anya is in Fairyland, and then when they present the key to the crown jewel, Merlin appears as he usually does. They place the crown jewel in the box, and then that's the exchange where Merlin is talking to the king, and when Gwen is like, but Merlin, Fairyland is not in any of our maps. Foolishly agreed to, wouldn't you say? Oh, well. And so obviously there is something that happened here where the king of the fairies, whether it be Wisp's father or someone previously, I mean, we're assuming it is Odeon, but
Yeah, I mean,
someone agreed.
in the comic, it's clearly Odeon is like as old as Merlin.
So see, but that's something that they kind
Yeah,
of ran with. That
that's an
wasn't
interpretation. Yeah,
right, right. So it's understood that there was just an agreement with Merlin, while even though, which is interesting though, because again, each of these crown jewels represents a different land of Avalon, and yet at the end of this, Anya, isn't it Anya or someone who says, like, oh no, I'm confusing. I was going to say the eighth land of Avalon, but that's a different episode.
welcome
but,
to season 2.
Yeah,
in a few
see,
episodes.
too many. But they do say that they declare the Rainbow Bridge open, and so now it's kind of like a Little Mermaid moment where like they exist both on land and sea. It's kind of like Fairyland and
so
Avalon.
Odeon's gonna wave his Triton and make the Rainbow Bridge appear.
Exactly. That's what's going to happen. So that's kind of all that happens. But it's like, if it represents a land, then you should have already known, okay, oh, but I guess the desert star,
really
technically, it's for the
yeah.
desert, the burning desert.
Yeah, I mean, Fairyland
see-
is technically a land apart from Avalon.
See, I just realized that 30 years later. That's the way it goes.
I mean, it has its own ruler and it has its own, everything, really.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I do wonder, like, is Fairyland like its own little dimension?
Mhm.
Is it just like another place that's linked from far away by the bridge? Questions. But I mean, it ends up, it's the same kind of question that you think the whole time during season 2, right? When they go to all these different worlds,
Right.
it's like, where is this? How does this relate? And
And where on the continent or
yeah,
on the world
exactly. Is this
this
even the same world anymore?
Is this
Like,
even the same dimension?
yeah.
Yeah.
So Fairyland's a little preview of that to come.
Yeah.
And at the end of this episode, to signify their newfound friendship, Wisp gives Gwenevere a sheep. Because what does every princess want?
A sheep.
A sheep.
And we will talk about that sheep later.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I'm going to grace the fairy princess with 4 jewels.
Wow.
I know, like I said, more than it deserves, but I'm going to give it 4 jewels.
I mean, I cannot give it more than 3. Like,
But 3's good. 3's better than For Whom the Bell Trolls.
yeah, I mean, honestly, these episodes are so linked in my mind as being kind of like the lower end of the show. But you're right, like, this does have a lot of funny little moments.
Yeah, I mean, how
In
can
it.
you not love the turtle and Nurse Twig?
The sheep lick
and-
maneuver.
Yeah,
and
I mean, that's what
sometimes
I'm
like
saying.
it's just so ridiculous that you have to like give them props for just going balls to the walls the whole episode.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but I mean, we did see that later in season 2, and it can be done poorly.
Oh,
That's the
absolutely.
thing,
Yes. Because at the central core of this episode is still what's the mystery of Fairyland and how does it relate to Avalon? And there is still like, we get to see Queen Anya in her like map room, I think, for the first time.
And it's world building. Plus,
Yeah.
you see the desert and all that
Yeah.
fun stuff.
So the desert really gets shortchanged overall.
I guess so.
As a land in favor of Fairyland. And I guess, I guess Badlands is sort of the desert later, but
Not quite. Don't
not
tell.
quite.
I was gonna like, where is the Badlands of the United States? Isn't it somewhere in
It's
the?
the southwest
north.
somewhere, right?
No, I thought it was.
Or
the
is
north.
it? Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Is it
Bad.
North Dakota? Is it South Dakota?
Oh, maybe that's what. Yeah, I think you're
The
right.
Dakotas?
It's one of the Dakotas.
See, I was like, don't tell Arizona that the same as the Dakotas.
All right, our next episode up is Badlands, written by Catherine Lawrence and Robin Young. Original air date, my birthday, October 29, 1995.
that why you like this one?
I mean, I actually didn't know that it aired on my birthday until I just read that. I had forgotten
Surprise!
that.
See? 30 years later, we're still learning things.
Still learning things. I guess we got more to talk about.
Well, escorting a caravan through Wizard's Pass on the way to a naming day ceremony at Castle Greenwood, Fallon and the Jewel Riders encounter Alfred and Minerva, Fallon's parents, who never approved of her becoming a Jewel Rider. Meanwhile, Lady Kale teams up with outlaws to try and trap the caravan and get Merlin's key from Princess Gwenevere. It will take all of Fallon's magic to save her parents and get the caravan safely to its destination. Would you like to take this one?
Sure. One of my absolute favorite episodes of the entire series. Let me just start with that. And one of the richest character episodes in the show. Fallon and Moondance get two great episodes between this and the second season.
And there's a lot of quotable material in this too.
Yes, yeah. This episode opens with field games between Fallon and the pack, and Fallon leaps Dead Man's Bluff and wins, and Drake complains. But King Jared's like, no. She showed initiative. You know, he's very dad about the whole thing. So it's very fun, and Tamara and the babies are out there watching and cheering for Fallon. And Fallon was like, oh, where's Gwen? And Tamara's like, oh, well, she's been said she's going to go represent the queen in the naming day ceremony at Castle Greenwood. And Fallon's like, sounds like a perfect job for the queen in training. Boring. Which I love. And Tamara's like, well, not quite. Because work have to go too. So,
no way.
And she's like,
because you got to do the whole thing. It's not quite. What do you mean? Gwen's volunteered us to go as well. No way. Sorry, Queen in Training's orders. We'll see about that.
Fallon storms into Gwen's room while she's packing and throwing dresses into her trunk, toppling
Fallon,
Archie.
You're tracking dirt all over my things.
And then in one of the slowest, weirdest pieces of animation, Fallon grabs the dress from Gwen. And I'm like, are they actually interacting? Or is that what's happening there? But Fallon basically is like, I'm scheduled for field games with the pack. And she's like, you can ride with them any day. Cute Lord Batten will be there. Our first mention of Lord Batten, by the way, in the series. And Fallon's quote, dancing and flirting.
No.
You do.
You missed it. It's Lord Batten is a stuck-up snob.
Yes.
Claude. You sound like attending a party with handsome guys as punishment.
Oh, and then dancing and flirting. That is what you do best. Let me do what I do best. Mother thinks it's best.
I was just going to say, you're going. Mother thinks it's a good idea. She knows best.
Oh my gosh, what does Fallon say? And I think it cuts to Tamara.
Yes.
At that point, giving the babies a bath. And the babies are like, oh, Gwen and Fallon sure sound mad at each other. And Tamara's like, oh, well, they're friends. They'll work it out. And then from off screen, you hear Fallon yell, and contrary to what you think, your mother does not know everything.
Take that back!
Never. There's like the sound of a slamming door, I think. And then Tamara wincing.
And then don't forget, and I don't want to talk to you either.
I don't want to talk. Yes. Just
again, lots of quotable. Apparently, Chris is forgetting these quotes, though.
There's so many in this one.
Yes. You're too focused on the next set of quotes.
Again, Fallon coming out with the best little quotes all the time.
I love the whole interaction with that, especially, just dancing and flirting. That is what you do best. Let me do what I do best. And because I can't help myself. I just love that. I think I can identify with it.
And I highly appreciate that in this episode, they are really having a fight. It's not some nonsense thing. And they really give the characters time to breathe and have this disagreement. And you really can see the differences in Gwen and Fallon's personalities coming out here. And Tamara, trying to play mediator. it's one of those really great things from this show because I think lesser shows would have just always had the girls getting along.
Right. And not had any altercation.
Yeah.
So then we cut to the next scene where this dreamboat appears.
Not
Denon.
Lord Batten. This, in
No.
fact, it is Denon, a random caravan escort rider.
An escort?
He might as well be.
The escort of the desert.
Uh-huh.
Okay, go ahead.
Which I'm also like, oh, there's no travel trees closer to this castle, Greenwood. So
Right.
so the Jewel Riders join up with this caravan that's going to go through Wizard's Pass, and Denon warns them because Fallon is like, there is at least 4 hours of light left. We should keep going. And Denon mentions that there's been reports of outlaws, probably nothing to worry about. And then, they decide to camp for the night. We cut to Gwen receiving people basically in front of the crystal carriage with what I've always loved is a random fire that's shaped like a crystal and it just sort of glows. And I'm like, is this like a campfire in this world? It's just a crystal that you like put on the ground.
Does
And
it emit
lights
heat?
up. Yeah, does it?
Or is it
heat?
just
Could you
aesthetic?
roast a marshmallow over this?
Jewel marshmallows.
Exactly.
You're like, I need to eat this. I don't want any more crystals. And that's the funny thing, too, is that there's these caravan raiders, and yet everything, including the actual cliff sides, have jewels in them. So
Right.
are like jewels
Jewels are
not
just
a commodity?
rocks in this
exactly.
world.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They're not a commodity at all in this world.
They grow on a horse's hind,
Rump.
and
Yes.
yes.
Yes. Okay, so cut to the caravan where again we've seen it kind of in Song of the Rainbow, but this is really the biggest extent that we've ever seen of the crystal carriage expanding out.
Yeah, the sides pop out like a tent trailer, and it becomes like a pretty nice sleeping area. And there's a cute scene with bunk beds where Tamara's, putting the babies to bed. I love that, like, Sugar and Spike get a bed and Cleo gets the floor.
The floor, yes. And don't forget, they were also going to make a crystal carriage toy as well.
Yes.
Again, you can learn more about that in the archive showcase.
Yeah, and you can see the pictures of the prototype on the website. Mm-hmm. While they're, Gwen comes back in from receiving people, and she's like, I must have shaken 100 hands. And Tamara's like, well, it's not every day people get to meet the most gracious princess or whatever.
Yes.
And so it's one of those interesting little moments where it's like you're reminded of the sort of status difference between, Gwen and the other girls, even though Tamara is clearly, Lady Tamara, as we learned in Song of the Rainbow. But, while they're having this discussion, a pillow fight ensues, because of course it does. During all of this, they are now buried in feathers inside of the crystal
I don't know how they came
carriage.
out of that many.
I was like,
pillows.
These 4 pillows, huh?
Exactly. They produce an entire flock
Like about
of geese.
100 geese worth of feathers.
Yes. Princess Gwenevere.
Yeah, so Gwen pops out of the feathers. She's like, somebody who forgot to pay their respects to the most gracious princess. That's where that line comes from. And so she receives this last minute guest, and she introduces herself as, I'm Minerva, Fallon's mother.
How many times have we said that quote?
We just say that randomly to each other.
I would never. Like, just constantly. Fallon's mother.
I mean,
why
when I listened to it, when I listened to her talk this time, listening, I was like, oh, that's
listening.
the same voice actress. That's Fallon's voice actress,
Yeah.
just pitched differently. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The same thing later with Charity, but yeah, I was like, I don't know, I just love that Minerva voice. It's so soothing and like calming.
Mm-hmm.
And so they find out Does
Oh,
she
wait.
really
No.
wants to-
You have to do the whole quote. So it's, I'm Gwenevere, Fallon's mother. We had no idea you were traveling with us. I'm sure Fallon never mentions me or Alfred. Alfred? Fallon's father. We haven't seen her in a couple of years. A couple of years? But it's terrible. You come right in. I'm sure Fallon will be back any moment. This carriage is remarkable. Absolutely stunning. You are too kind.
You really
Okay.
have memorized this clearly.
Do you not remember all those bus
I mean,
rides
I
where I
remember them, but I
recited
don't-
The
I
Little
don't think I
Mermaid and
could
Snow
recite
White?
it
I
from
mean, that's just
memory.
me. Again, I like it's those memes where it like has like all this like information, like everything that's stored in my head, but it's completely useless. And meanwhile, really efficient, effective information is
Do you
like,
know your
nope,
social
not there.
security number? No, but I know I'm Minerva, Fallon's
Right.
mother.
Right? Oh my gosh. So yeah, then it cuts to Fallon outside and says, "We're not even there yet, and Gwen's partying already." And then they're in there laughing, and she comes in. "It's late. Party's over. Fallon, look who's here to see you." "Hello, Fallon." "What? Mother? Is father here too?" "Yes, he's in our carriage. I wish you'd come and talk to him." "I'm very tired, Mother." And then it's something about like, "Oh, perhaps tomorrow then. Perhaps. Good night." "How could you be so rude? Your own mother. You knew they'd be here, and you deliberately made me go. I hate you for this, Gwenevere."
And yes, and then she runs out and throws herself on Moondance and cries.
Very Disney princess-like.
Yes. I have to say that interaction between Fallon and her mother, where Fallon is super dismissive of her, has always like made me very emotional feeling.
No, probably because you identify with it.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, it's like there's really something about, Fallon and her parents and this whole story that's very I mean, sure you can look at it as like coded like LGBT, like you went off and lived a life that your parents didn't approve of.
See, now you're going real deep about it.
Is that why I like get like misty-eyed
Choked
several
up.
times during this episode?
Yes, because you're over here doing that. See, meanwhile, for me, it's
You're reciting the
Cinderella
whole
and Little.
thing.
No, I bet it's Cinderella and Little Mermaid that do it for me. You're over here with Badlands. That's
Yes.
the one that gets you. Oh dear.
Yes. So
we'll talk
the
about
next
it.
morning,
Bring it up at your next therapy session.
oh my gosh, right? Make my therapist watch Badlands.
Episode.
If you need to understand me, just watch this.
Just watch this. Yeah.
So the next morning, the caravan's back on its way. They're going through Wizard's Pass. Fallon pulls up on Moondance next to her parents' carriage. And her father pointedly ignores her while her mother tries to make awkward conversation. And then her mother acts, unknowingly says, "Moondance, what a remarkable creature." And then Fallon gets all hurt, like, "She is not a creature. She is my best friend."
Please, Fallon, let's not fight anymore.
And,
There's also an animation flub here as well, if you didn't see it. In one image,
oh, she
with
has sleeves and not
yes,
sleeves.
yes.
Yeah.
And she has sleeves and jewel armor, and then in the next cut, she doesn't have sleeves, but it's the same jewel armor.
Yes. During this, let's see, how does this next progression of sequence go?
Well, that's when the bandits start to attack the caravan,
attack Savello and his bandits.
which we'll meet later again.
Yeah, Savello, bizarrely, one of the characters you think would be a one-off, but actually reappears in the series later.
Yes, kind of random.
Yeah.
He's teamed up with Kale.
Yeah, so he's teamed up with Kale, and, Savello's after whatever the wagons have, but Kale, turns out, is trying to catch Gwenevere to get Merlin's key. And I'm like, what you going to use it on? You ain't even got a crown.
You don't got the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there's just a lot of fighting between the bandits.
There's a good fight sequence. Fallon, they use a lot of different powers during this sequence. Gwen creates a magic shield. Fallon creates
it's a hair comb.
a fake wall. Yes.
Yeah.
Fallon turns ropes into snakes. Tamara does nothing but calm animals down.
I love that part because while everyone else is doing action, she's like, by the magic of the Heartstone, stay here. I'm going to go calm down the animals.
Yes. I was like, oh, you're helping. Okay.
Right? You're doing it over there. Yeah. Meanwhile, in Jewel Quest Part 1, you were over there fighting with
You literally shot a
Fallon.
beam at Kale.
Exactly, but now all you could do is calm the animals.
Yes. So during this sequence, Archie says, like, I can't. He's basically, flabbergasted this is happening. It's like Merlin would never settle for such common rustling, which I just love that little quote. And Tamara's like, well, Merlin's not here, so
He's not here to stop them. But, I mean, of course, everything ends happily, and they more or less defeat the villains by, I guess, just deterring them. It just seems like Sabella kind of gives
basically
up.
fight them off.
But then Kale captures
Kale,
Gwenevere.
yeah, Kale captures Gwenevere, and we should say Kale has trapped the caravan in the pass by blasting a bunch of rock down and blocking the way.
Mm-hmm.
And so to catch up to Kale as she's flying away, Moondance and Fallon ride up this like Scrabble rock. I'm like, I don't know that a horse can do that, but okay. From the top of that pile of rock, Moondance basically launches Fallon, and she catches onto the dragon wagon for the second time in the series.
Yes.
And
But this time she didn't bring it down.
She didn't bring it down this time completely,
No.
despite having both a horse and the princess carried from it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so Fallon gets blasted off of the side of the dragon wagon, and then she's hanging onto the net holding Gwenevere and Sunstar. Gwen and Fallon use their jewels, blast the net, and open it, and they all fall. Gwen is on Sunstar, so she's safe, but Fallon she basically falls to the ground, but she uses her moonstone to create the same sort of bubble effect we saw in Jewel Quest.
It's like a speed bubble or something. I did like that because you kind of, again, watching it with him, it was kind of like, oh, well, Guinevere's obviously going to save her. But when she actually fell to the floor, it was a little bit like, oh, didn't see that coming.
Right. It's like, Gwen is like clearly distraught. And Fallon just sort of wakes up and she's like, well, now I know another thing my moonstone can do. And I'm like, oh, I guess everything's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, the caravan makes it. Fallon has made up with her parents. Gwen is at the naming ceremony. Fallon and Gwen forgive each other. There's a lovely little line where Fallon is like, I said some really terrible things to a friend today. And Gwen was like, if she's really your friend, she'll forgive you. And I'm like, that's a really beautiful little exchange between them.
We've never quoted that, but I'm going to tell you that one day. One day when I've done something really
When
stupid.
you've done something horrible to me.
Exactly. Why is it I'm going to do it? Why can't you be the
Well,
one that
you
did
never
it?
know.
And then it's, here come the guys.
So yes, it's the first time we get to see Lord Batten walking next to Denon. And, Gwen steps out in front of Fallon right after making up with her to, like, block her from the boys. And then they basically just look behind her and are like, oh, Fallon, can I have this dance? And they basically kind of, like, argue over who's going to dance with Fallon next. And Gwen, for once, takes something nonchalantly. Then she dances with Archie, and the episode ends.
Right.
Come dance with me, you handsome little owl.
Oh, why, yes. Oh.
And then it's this ridiculous thing of her holding his wings.
Yes.
So ends a really good episode of the show. One of my
See,
absolute favorites.
I'm going to tell you this, though. I struggled with giving this one an appropriate rating.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Well, let's just hear your rating. I mean, is this another 5 for you?
This is my
or-
5, yes.
Okay, this is a 5. Well, you also gave Wizard's Peak a 5, and then
Yes.
Jewel Quest Part 2 a 5. I'm a little indecisive. If I could give it, I'll give it halves. I'll give it 3.5 joules.
3.5. That's a slap in my face.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's what it is. It's better than Fairyland. No, wait, no, I gave Fairyland.
You gave that
Fairyland
4.
Yeah, see, I'm
Oh,
not
honey,
sure.
get out of the sun. You're touched.
It's just, it has so many quotable moments, but the thing is that Tamara doesn't really have a whole lot happening in this episode, which obviously affects how I like something. And it was so based on like just kind of fighting. And there was a very muted palette. Like the color tone is very like gold and muted and like not a lot of bright colors. I don't know.
I mean, it does take place in a desertish canyon for the most part.
It's just, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, it's definitely better than For Whom the Bell Trolls. And I always thought that I liked it better than The Fairy Princess, but watching these again, I almost felt like, no, maybe that's not so. I don't know. Like, I do really like the development of the Fallon character and the parents. I don't know. I'm in between 3.5 and 4 stars, but we'll leave it at 3.5.
I don't know that I can live in this world where you like the Fairy Princess more than Badlands.
It's just how I'm rating it right now. I don't know. Maybe
I'm
I'll
going to
feel
use the
differently
shark
again.
stone on you in a minute.
I don't know. It's just Wisp is more interesting of a character than Gwenevere, even though she's more quotable.
Even though this is the best development any character ever gets in the whole show.
I don't know. Sometimes we don't want development. Sometimes we just want drag queen dweezels. I don't know. I don't know what to tell
Sometimes you just want the sheep-lick maneuver over
exactly.
a nuanced character portrait. Okay.
There you go. There you go.
I see how
Well, you know
this
what? So then we're going to go to the next episode, which is...
If you give this 5 stars, I'm going to scream. This is Home Sweet Heartstone, written by Robin Young, originally aired November 5, 1995.
Tamara and the Jewel Riders are summoned back to Heartland Farm by her parents, Doc and Charity, after they discover a rare prism fox and hope that their daughter's Heartstone can help them communicate. However, Lady Kale also wants the prism fox for its ability to ride the wild magic without a jewel. In a musical battle between Kale and the Jewel Riders, who will play the last note? That's such a cringy summary.
Yeah.
So, as it states, it opens up with the Jewel Riders en route back to Heartland Farm, and Tamara is explaining that her parents have found a prism fox, and everyone's like, the prism fox is so magical, and that its song does this and that, and blah, 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 and there's a lot of story setup here. This is another episode, and it's funny because my guy was all like, what? Like, do we just all of a sudden pause the entire series to meet everyone's parents? And it's like, it's just another of those episodes where it's like, I do appreciate that there was character development and showing the characters. I mean, I don't think that Doc and Charity are as memorable or as interesting as Alfred and Minerva are.
Right, because it lacks the conflict of those characters.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. So there really is no conflict. Like, I mean, they weren't really upset at Tamara for anything.
That they want to be a conflict. But
so they invite the girls in to see the prism fox.
So no.
What?
Hold on.
The elephant?
We have to start by
the elephant in the room.
By saying that Heartland Farm is basically like an weird magical animal rescue, and Tamara's father, Doc, is painting the side of the barn on top of an elephant named Bessie. And he literally falls off of this elephant, and the elephant catches him
with his trunk.
And Tamara's father is also apparently Teddy Roosevelt. Because that's clearly what Doc is based on. He looks like
I try to skim over all these details.
No. We have these are the important bits. And then Tamara's mother comes out of the house, literally dripping in animals. And she, there is a cute moment where Gwen greets her, and she's like, Charity, it's so good to see you. You know, this is Sunstar. We're Jewel Riders now. And it's like, oh, that's clearly like calling back to some moment that they've met before then.
But
So,
not since they got their
but
jewels.
not since, yeah. I was like, huh, Tamara's parents merit an invite to your Circle of Friendship ceremony, huh?
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't get that. There you go. Okay. Now can I go back to
Yes,
where they're
now
in the
go
barn?
on to the...
After we've introduced Bessie, the elephant in the
Uh-huh.
room. Okay, so this is when we find Kit the prison fox in a basket inside of the barn. And Tamara approaches the animal, but it just kind of sings. And so
And by
she has
sing,
this...
we mean the random sound of a synthesizer
Yes, yes.
for its voice.
It's wanting its mother. And so then Tamara has, or rather Charity, one of them, has the idea that Tamara, perhaps if it talks with music, perhaps it can understand through music. And so she brings out all of her instruments. Apparently Tamara plays all these instruments.
I love that Charity's like, your instruments are still in your room.
they kept everything in there
They
because
clearly
there's...
like have the Tamara shrine or something in her room still.
Right. Because there's a sun guitar and a moon guitar and a Elton John piano and everything else.
Yes, this is also the episode where we learn that Archie can play the piano.
Piano,
with
yes.
his feather fingers.
So that ensues as Stormy originally talked about on her Avalon page as corny country cartoon music.
That is such a perfect... This whole episode, by the way, has this weird twangy soundtrack.
Yes, it's very different.
And I'm like, oh, Kermit just rolled over with his banjo and went away.
Okay, so then I was also thinking, because we haven't had a song since Song of the Rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
It was Jewel Quest, well, Part 2. Jewel Quest Part 1 doesn't have a song, I don't think. So Jewel Quest Part 2 has essentially just the end song. Song of the Rainbow has, again, but that's the quintessential Jewel Riders episode. And then we don't have another song until Home Sweet Hearthstone. So for me, again, this is interesting because there's a song in this episode.
Number.
I like this musical number. And of course, it's all about Tamara. So Tamara is over here singing.
Shooby-dooby-doop, shadoop, shadoopy.
And I think, because we always said this, they're making an appearance of who we believe is the Fairyland sheep. The sheep comes down in the swing with Spike and Sugar.
Oh, it's like, okay, so Gwen got this international relations gift sheep, and she just dumps it at Heartland Farm.
I mean, but then also, where did they get it? Because she says, oh, we're Jewel Riders now, so if you didn't know that by now, maybe it's not the same sheep, but we believe it is the same sheep.
This is literally how we placed this episode, is because a sheep shows up.
So we're like, clearly it's after the Faery Princess.
Children process
10-year-old children, yes, and 40-year-old adults.
Uh-huh.
Nothing's changed.
Nope.
So after all of that...
but we were right.
About what?
About the placement of the episode.
Well, yeah, afterwards. Yeah,
you're right. This is one of those episodes
right.
I didn't see, like, I think in first run.
And for the longest time, our only copy was this fuzzy...
Oh, yes, like this horrible copy.
Yeah, because it didn't come through. But then, thankfully, later when they released it on, I believe it was Watch It Kid, we finally got a clear copy of Home Sweet Hearthstone with the Gwenevere soundtrack, which is nice.
Yeah.
All right, so going back to what we're saying. So, after singing and having our little country number, we cut to Kale. And we
her
see...
bagpipe.
Yes. Actually, and my guy cringed. He's like, the bagpipes? And I was like, I don't know. As a child, I never really gave it a second thought. I just thought, sure, like, that's just, yes, of course.
Can you imagine the Crystal Palace talent show where Kale, everybody has to pretend that the Princess Kale bagpipe number is good and vote for her?
See, this could be a fanfic right there. Just a short story. Kale's unrequited love of the bagpipes. Okay, so she's over here playing the bagpipes, and
Because she's
the
somehow
Dweezils.
also heard about the Prism Fox. Is that why she's there?
Yeah, yeah. And the
Okay.
Dweezils have this fun, kind of a throwaway line, but when she's playing, it's supposed to be bad playing, and so they say something like, "Yeah, it's too horrible to believe," and she says, "Quiet, I'm tuning it," and then he says, "Ah." And he like covers his ears or something, and it was a funny line. See, it's kind of a throwaway line though, but I
Well,
don't really remember it. But
it's funny because this is the first time I really thought about it watching that sequence where I thought about the harp, O tone deaf one.
right,
I was
right.
like, oh my God, it's like a little connecting little bit of story that Kale is bad at music. Like,
Or that the Dweezils just don't like listening to it either,
yes.
so they're kind of sassy about it. Um, so she finally kind of connects on something and she connects to Kit. Kit hears it, and in a trance, she runs after the call that Kayla is making, and all the other animals, because the babies spent the night in the barn, follow Kit out of the barn into the night and into Kale. And from there, Kale decides that she will keep all of them.
From there, Kale has her Cruella DeVille moment.
Yes, yes.
All right, I'll take the lot of you.
Actually, it's funny because he even said while we were watching, he's like, "What? I'm gonna make a coat out of you or something."
Exactly.
And so then the Jewel Riders wake with a start. And what again, another quotable thing, Tamara's like, "I had the strangest dream. I'm gonna check on the babies." And then they walk out, and it's funny because maybe this is just random, but this is like the only time in the entire series that we see the girls shoeless. We see their feet. I don't know that we really do that ever again. Just
Oh,
wanted to throw it out there.
it's also the only time we ever see them in like bed
Beds,
clothes.
sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. This is the only time
And they
they
all
sleep.
wear
Matching
color-coded shirt
colored.
dresses to bed.
Yes. Well, naturally,
I
of
think it's adorable. I
course.
was like, that could have been a fashion pack.
Ah. So then they go out to the barn, and Fallon, who's the tracker apparently, sees tracks and says, "Tracks, lots of them, headed out. I'd say a few hours ago. Oh, my babies!"
You
And
think
it's
the
like,
trampled earth from an elephant doesn't show up?
oh my gosh. So then the next morning, they wait all night to finally do something. Then the next morning, they saddle up, and Charity's over there. "It's never been so quiet here. Don't worry, we'll find them." And then
Is Charity just using the animals to avoid talking to Doc like an old
I
retired
don't know,
couple that
right?
don't
I
get
don't
along
know.
anymore?
So they can't make out the tracks because apparently Fallon is confused by them because she's trying to use the moonstone. But then Tamara says that she can lock onto the heartstone. So she uses her heartstone to trace the babies. Meanwhile, Kayla's flying overhead and realizes that she no longer has babies in the back of her carriage.
This bit always confused me.
Yes, because one, how did they get out of there? And if they did fall from a great height, they would all be dead.
Yes.
Like they would have landed just in a random valley.
And
you
it's
know.
like Kale suddenly notices them gone, and in the next like scene, they're like looking around bewildered in this valley, and it's like, how did this happen? Is this just like a
Yes.
hand wave moment of just don't think about it?
Just don't. It'll hurt your head if you do.
Uh-huh, like so many pieces of this episode.
Yes. So so then there's okay. I think it's good animation in the sense of the Jewel Riders approach the valley as Kale approaches from the other side, and a magical battle ensues to try to bring the baby animals to whatever side. Tamara comes out with both a clarinet and a violin. And I think the animation's quite good, actually. And when she's playing, for what it is, it's like they could have just drawn just a random, like, instrument. But no, they put all these like little vines and hearts all over
Oh yeah,
the
her
clarinet.
clarinet flute thing is like
Yeah.
very
It's
like prettily
it's detailed.
designed. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm like, and that was drawn in each frame. So again, it was one of those things where I was like, okay, like the animation's pretty decent. Or like when she's fiddling as well, the violin, I don't know, is that what you do?
I was so reminded of the Celtic woman, like the
Yes.
violinist who runs
Yes.
around. I was like,
Yes.
oh my god, it's Tamara.
Ah, there you go. And then the 90s happen because what says 90s more than guitars and a violin? And then we got Elton Owl over here.
Uh-huh.
And then we got punk rocker Dweezils and organist Kale.
Yes, in the meantime, we should say Kale has transformed her bagpipe into a pipe organ that has a little spout on the top that Grimm can blow like a trumpet.
Yes, it's
And
Lady Kale of the Opera.
the Oh my god, it's no music of the night, that's for sure.
Most definitely not.
So this organ also has a face for some reason.
Yes. And
It's just
then
the most 90s thing I've ever seen.
But then there's music again. I mean, we've got the theme song. We've got extended versions of the theme song, which is later featured on one of the soundtracks. But they do have a lot of music that we had never heard before. So
Right.
the extended version of the theme song. And then Fallon warns that they'll blow open the wild magic, and they do just that. There's this tornado looking thing, which is interesting because it's like it's only animated in half of the sky. The other half of the sky is not animated with it. But I digress.
So once the magic is blown open by the two discordant musics hitting each other, Kale gets sucked up into the portal. And by the way, this is also the episode where the Grimm calling her mommy or mama is born. And it's like a thing that goes through the rest of the show for reasons.
Well, he did it because he was under the spell of the
Right,
prison
he
box.
falls under the same spell.
Right.
As
They
all
must
the
have
other
just
animals.
liked it. But
Yeah.
you forgot because Kale actually goes into the valley. She picks Kit up, and then that's when Kit is calling out for her parents. And so she opens up the wild magic, and then Kale and Kit are sucked up into the wild
That's
magic.
right.
portal.
That's right. Kit disappears, Kale disappears, but then Kit reappears, right?
Yes.
So she was able to ride the magic basically back on her own for a little bit, but she still doesn't know, still missing her parents. And so the Jewel Riders, as we solve any problem, a jewel circle.
The power of friendship.
Uh-huh. So they create a jewel circle and they basically reopen the portal into the wild magic, and everyone calls out to Kit's parents, which seems like putting a loudspeaker into a street and hoping you reach of somebody.
And who should appear?
But Kit's parents!
Yay!
And I love that they're just normal sized foxes, and Kale had this vision of them being like the size of a rhinoceros that she could ride.
More like a stegosaurus.
Right.
They're
Like, it's
huge.
huge.
Yes, and that's why she was so disappointed when this little animal showed up.
So yes, they're animals, and they talk through they have like the adults have a jewel on their chest that they can talk to the jewel riders through, much like their own animals.
Like enchanted jewels.
Right.
And then they tell the jewel riders that basically that they've ridden the wild magic, but recently it's become unstable, and they know of the jewel riders, and if you need anything again, just call. And that's kind of where it ends. And then
Yeah.
And then, okay, this is where it gets annoying because then the Dweezils are like, well, we must carry on. And of course, Grimm is sad. Mom, mom. And then Kale yells out that I'm here. I've got thrown out of the wild magic and I'm in a tree. And then the Dweezils go over to the only tree that's nearby and look up it. Yet there is no animation of Kale. There is not a hint. And it's like, it's not that far away and it's barren. There's no leaves on it. It always bothered me, even as a child, that there was no
they were
animation of
that they were
Kale.
so dumb to look up in the tree. Well, Grim flies away, so I assume that it's a tree that we can't see.
See, I never thought of that. I just thought that they were just,
You just thought they
I don't
were
know.
so dumb.
that, or the animators
Or the
just
animation
didn't really
was so
care.
bad. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
They couldn't even
that the
be bothered
animation
to
was so
animate
bad.
Kale.
Yes. And then from there, everyone returns back to Heartland Farms.
Oh, no.
No, no, no.
No. You're missing the end where Tamara the Pied Piper.
That's what I said. They all returned.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry. I didn't give. I'm sorry. Go ahead. The elephant in the room. Talk about Bessie and the Pied Piper.
Oh. So the animals are running everywhere, and Tamara, just like the Pied Piper, starts to play her flute and skip away back to the Heartland Farm.
And she plays the clarinet not down. She plays it up.
Up into the air, which, let me tell you, as somebody who played the clarinet in high school band, very difficult.
In fact, we
And
often
in fact,
made fun
you,
of that. Remember?
I believe,
yes,
borrowed
of
my
course.
clarinet to reenact that. At one
Of course I did. Naturally.
point. So yes, Tamara skips back to the Heartland Farms. In the meantime, Gwen and Fallon are riding behind her. The crystal carriage is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
I guess it's just left in that valley.
With the piano.
With the piano and like some guitars just laying there.
Hey, maybe Archie drove the bear back home. I don't know.
And so ends Home Sweet Heartstone.
Okay, it probably deserves, I'm not sure, more or less. I'm going to give it 2 jewels. 2 jewels.
I cannot give it more than 1.
Oh, even less than Travel Trees Can't
Even less
Dance.
than Travel Trees Can't Dance.
It's Chris's first 1 jewel. I still haven't given anything 1 jewel.
It's just like, even as a child, I knew this episode was cringe.
Is it because you hate country music?
I mean, it doesn't help its case.
And see, this is interesting because just like how we talked about with you identifying, remember, I lived on a farm for a while.
That's
So
true.
that was actually something that I also was like, I'm just like Tamara. She lives on a farm. It's me. Like,
Meanwhile, like when I visited relatives who had a farm, I was like ready to leave as soon as we got there.
so I think that it was just something, again, of me identifying and me enjoying because it was a Tamara episode and there was a song. So that's why I'm saying it's like,
Yeah.
I'll give it 2 stars because I do. I'm sorry, 2 jewels because I do
Yeah.
enjoy it for those pieces.
Yeah, I mean, I like that there's a song. I wish it was a different
Better song?
Yeah.
You wish that her parents lived like, I don't know, somewhere fun. How about in Ireland and then they had to do a Celtic jig?
Well, I mean, we missed a good chance for a very Irish Moor themed thing with the Misty Moors. I mean,
Well,
honestly,
there you go.
you could have had a river dance moment right there. It's the same year as Jewel Riders.
So now we've got 4 more episodes to look forward to. Are you
Yes,
excited to talk about those?
I am, because this is the ones
Gonna
coming up
finish
are
up.
a fun batch of episodes. We'll be talking about Love Struck, Dreamfields, Revenge of the Darkstone, and Full Circle.
So you got to stay tuned to find out what happens in the season finale.
That's right. So thank you guys so much for sticking with us and coming along for this ride through all of the episodes of Jewel Riders and our review of them.
And I did also just want to mention, if you hadn't already seen some of the videos on YouTube and also on our other social medias, as we had also ended the social media new posts a while back, we had kept the YouTube alive as well, and we had recently shared a video also talking about how we will no longer be updating YouTube with new videos. So if you are watching this and wondering, it's because as of right now, the podcast is still going because we're finishing up these reviews, but all the other new content has been released to the YouTube in celebration of the 30th anniversary of Princess Gwenevere and the Jewel Riders. But as we already talked about, you can still celebrate the anniversary through merchandise and some special offerings that we have available on our Etsy shop, as well as some other fun things that we have been recently sharing on the blog.
Yeah, so look forward to a few more episodes. This is kind of a little bow we're putting on our time with Jewel Riders here. So doing these episode reviews. So I think it's a fun way to sort of send it off a little bit.
I think so.
Yeah.
Most people would have started with this, but
right?
No,
exactly.
We're different.
We're apparently ending with this.
Right.
Oh, all right, everyone. Thanks so much for listening. If you want to find out more about Jewel Riders, you can, of course, visit us at jewelridersarchive.com, or you can find this podcast and listen to more episodes on any podcast platform that you currently enjoy. Of course, you can check out our YouTube for many behind
10 years, in fact.
10 years worth of videos. You can check out the blog on the website and all the different pages we've made over the years. And if you want to watch the episodes of the show, we do have a hosted playlist of those. We're no longer hosting the episodes ourselves, but they are hosted by the Amazing Adventures channel, their original home again. So yeah, go check those out. Give them some views. We want to, show the love right there to the official people. Maybe it'll inspire them to do a few more fun things like the new comic. And as we always like to end every episode, we would like to say, friends together, friends forever. All right, bye everyone.
Can't wait to review the next episode.
See you next time.
See you then. Bye everyone.
Bye.